Hi, this is Bill from Farland Classic Restoration. We're going to do a walk around today on our 1966 Porsche 911. It's an early short wheelbase car, and these are becoming rarer and rarer all the time because they didn't sell a great many of them when they were new because they were a fairly pricey car. This car cost more than a big block Corvette in those days, cost more than an XKE Jaguar. So the Porsche salesman had a tall job ahead of him to convince somebody that a six-cylinder car was worth a couple of $1,000s more than a big block Corvette. But we've learned as the years have gone by, these things have certainly maintained their appeal and their value. A real important distinction when you're talking collector cars is it a survivor or has it been restored? We've seen these beautiful cars at places like Pebble Beach and Amelia Island where literally hundreds of thousands of dollars have been spent to restore them, to make them like the day they were new. And those cars are great, but you really can't drive them. Occasionally we'll find what we call a survivor like this one. This car was in single-family ownership up until the time I bought it a few months ago from the grandson of the guy who bought it new. They drove the car 65,000 miles, but most of that was within the first few years of its life. It spent most of the last 20 years essentially in storage as the older generation died off. But the car's never been in an accident, it's never had any significant rust, and it's never been restored. Our shop has buffed and polished the paint. We've certainly cleaned up the interior, but that's all original. We've certainly helped the car's mechanics by doing brake work on it and fuel tank work and tuned the carburetors and all that, but it's never been restored. The car is like it was back in February of 1966 when the Porsche COA says it was built new. Now, I've left the nose open here, so don't worry about these bad gaps. Inside, again, all the original carpet. You can see the tops of the new shock absorbers that we have put on it. It has Bilstein shocks now, front and rear. They were replaced. We didn't have to do anything in here other than vacuum it and clean it up. Has the original data plate on it. And there's no signs anywhere that the car's ever been damaged. Now, we have seen places where there's been some paint work done, primarily right here in the same place on the other side. This body of Porsche, they tend to trap water under these gaskets and they tend to get a little rust right there. So we believe it has had that repaired. We didn't do any fixing. I don't think the paint on the car has been touched in 20 years, but somewhere along the line, these two areas have been painted. We have checked the car over with a paint meter, and it doesn't have any alarming numbers anywhere. It looks like original paint thickness over most of the car, but we can tell there's been places that have been touched up. When it was new, it was ordered with the Porsche chrome wheels, which are date-coded, if I remember correctly looking at them, late 1965. And the car had quite a lot of other factory options. Wood rim steering wheel, wood grain on the dash, and of course all the 911s were 5-dial dashboards, unlike the 912s. The car also got fog lights, and it has the gasoline heater, which terrifies everyone, as well it should, but it does have it as a factory option. Moving here to the back of the car, you can see it still has the original gold tone Porsche and 911 emblems. And the engine area is largely original. I make that distinction because, as was popular back in the day, it does have a Mallory high-energy ignition system on it because the old original points and coils were only so reliable. So that was an upgrade that was probably done on this car 30 years ago. But if you paint around inside, you can see where we've put a new fuel pump, fuel filter, fuel lines in the car because having sat for a long time, all the fuel system was corrupted with trash. We even put a new fuel tank in the car. And that's one nice thing with 911s. Anything you need for the car is readily available through a large aftermarket network of suppliers. So getting a new gas tank for it was easy. And a very important distinction with early 911s is until March of 1966, they were fitted with triple throat Solex carburetors. After March of 66, for a variety of reasons, Porsche switched to Webers. Most people now much prefer the original Solexes, and that's what this car has. As a survivor car, she's got one or two little beauty marks on it, showing her experiences over the years. Tiny little dent in that bumper guard. I think there's a small one in one of the front ones also. But again, for a car that's been riding around since 1966, and that's all it's ever picked up, that's pretty remarkable. All the lenses and lights are all in nice shape. You may have even noticed that with the fog lights, one of them is white and one of them is yellow. I have no idea which they originally came, if they had two fogs and two driving lights, and right now there's one of each, but the lenses are identical between the two. Somebody could certainly find a matching one if they wanted to. But all the interior vinyl trim, the carpeting, the door cards, the things that are oftentimes pretty shabby in an unrestored car of this age really still look quite nice. In addition to the wood rim steering wheel, which I understand was only available in 1966, this car had the optional walnut grain on the dash, which looks great. But you'll notice right here on the glove box there's a dark spot, and that's where this brass plaque was that has the name of Cedric Gearing, who bought the car new. The glue has given up and it wants to fall off. We're not going to glue it back on, just in case the next owner would like to try to bleach that away, but this will be in the glove box just in case someone would like to put it back. Has the original AM, FM shortwave Blaupunkt radio, which was another one of the options, and it's really an awfully nice survivor car. Here in front of our other white 911, a 79 SC Coupe, we also have all of the original owner's books, service records, all the things from that family's collection of information on this car since it was new. We have all the trunk tools, the jack, everything that came with the car. That it's difficult to find one as well documented or as well preserved. If you have any further questions on the car, please view it on our website or give Tom or I a call. We'll be happy to talk with you about it. Thanks for watching.